Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash, double honors unto your apostles and elders, great millstone. Um, and Shalom to all the sincere Akim out there. Um, this video is gonna just be entitled, When Did This Happen? Alright? Or more so, really, actually, I'm gonna revise the name when I upload it. Anyway, this is, I want to read the scripture and then get into the lesson. So this is Revelation 17:5. And upon her head was a name. Let me read into it. So 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Alright? Now when you go to the 15th verse, it tells you that the waters are people basically. And the whore, which we understand, those in the know, is America, all right? Due to the fact that America's lied down with many nations, all right? With whom the kings of the earth, as it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So they laid down how? By doing trade with America. Many nations have come to the landmass of America and made a fortune, but also these other kingdoms around the earth, these other nations around the earth also have made a substantial amount of money by way of trade, all right? So basically that's how they're fornicating and drunk with her wine. Her wine is her philosophy. That's why you have cultures such as the Chinese, Japanese, they had a cultural attire that they had for many years, centuries and many times. And now everyone dresses in business suits and learns English, all right? Reason being is because they're drunk of the wine of a fornication, okay? They're basically at one with the mindset of Babylon the Great, the whore that sitteth upon many waters, sorry. So he carried me away in the spirit in the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, so there was a woman sat upon this beast that had different names that had names of blasphemy, and had 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, which represent NATO and the EU. And the woman was arrayed in purple. Purple denotes what? Royalty, right? Dominion. Right, so this woman was of royalty and had dominion, and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. So it was decked out to the max, to the brim, with jewelry, which represents, wealth and riches. Okay, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of a fornication, drinking the cup of this kingdom, basically. All right, and upon her head was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, which we understand is America. But now some people don't believe that's America. Now, if it ain't America, who is it? All right? That's the main question. Or where is it? Okay? Because first and foremost, John the Revelator was on the Isle of Patmos. In the first verse, the first chapter, the 9th verse, it tells you that he was on the Isle of Patmos, and that was around the time of 90 A.D. All right, so it definitely ain't the Babylon of old, because that got taken out by Darius the Mede, as it tells you in Daniel the 5th chapter. All right, that's what happened. It was taken out after the writings was put on a wall. Okay. And that was around 539 BC. And I'm sure, if I didn't say the first time John the Revelator was on the Isle of Patmos during 19 AD, okay? In case I said BC. So, with that out of the way, where's this other Babylon, right? Now, we have to understand, obviously, what the word Babylon means, right? Babel, it goes back to 2 words being Babel and Lon. Okay, the Babel part goes back to the Hebrew Babel, which means confusion, which that word came about due to what? The Isle of the Tower of Babel, all right, in Genesis the 11th chapter. And what did they do during the Tower of Babel? All different nations came together because they were of one speech, and they said, let's build a tower under Nimrod to basically, so he could be like the Most High and go up into the heavens and rule over and be the Most High, basically. When the angels saw it, what did they do? Confounded his language, the language of them all, and they all parted their different ways because they didn't understand each other and established their own forms of dominion, all right, due to their race, basically, being the Cushite, or being, the different races that were upon the earth at that time, the descendants of Shem, the descendants of Ham, the descendants of what's his how do you pronounce that, man? Bloody hell, my brain is taking over. Japhet, Salakia, man, Satan, to the name. All these different nations basically went about their business, all right? So if that's the case, then what kingdom is likened unto that, all right? Okay. That is the question. What kingdom can that be? All right? The Most High deals with nomen, right? So if his name Babylon, it needs to have that same spirit of Babylon upon it. And also it has to be a mystery that no one knows. Or should I say, it's not common knowledge, but it's common knowledge to those that are in the know, being those of the elect, all right? And those of Esau, Edom, which it was put in their spirit to do so, okay? So again, it said, and upon her head was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, all right? And technically it's the daughter of Babylon, but it's the mother, all right? So it'd have to exude certain factors. So like the first one being Jeremiah 1:13, which reads, and the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, what seest thou? All right, so asked Jeremiah, what do you see? And this is what he said, and I said, I see a seething pot, a melting pot, all right? And the face thereof is toward the north, all right? So, is a face, it was face unto the north. What is America known as today? What is it part of? The landmass known as the Americas. You have Canada, North America, Central America, and South America. So, it says, the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, what seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, a melting pot. Now, what's a seething pot or a melting pot? It's a place where a myriad or a multitude or a different range of things are combined and put into one place. That being the things that are being combined and put into one place is the people of different nations and tongues, all right, being put into one place and melting all together to form a place, one place inside of that pot, all right? And the face thereof is toward the north, all right, North America, okay? That's what's in the seething pot. That's it, all right? So let's progress on. Okay, so it's also known, if it's known as Babylon, all right, let's go back. If it's also known as Babylon, what would be another factor, right? It says, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of earth. As we said before, the original Babylon, really the original Babylon was the Tower of Babel, but then you had a kingdom known as Babylon, all right? And that was around the time of what, 1600 BC till 539 BC when Darius came in. All right. So you had that kingdom upon the earth during that time. So what would that make this kingdom that's a new one, due to the fact that it comes way after, a couple hundred years after, when John the Revelator is speaking about it, that is something of it's prophetic that's gonna happen in the future. What would that make it if that Babylon was the one before? It would be its daughter, alright? Alright? So if it's a daughter of Babylon and not the original Babylon, what would be the state of that daughter of Babylon? What would the Bible say about the daughter of Babylon? This is Psalms 137 and 8. And it reads, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Alright? So it says the daughter of Babylon is going to be destroyed. Happy shall be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So it's saying, wait, it said the daughter of Babylon is going to be destroyed. When it says, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So who did serve us? Who's the one that's going to reward Babylon as they were served unto them? Verse 7. All right. So this is Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord, Yahweh, the children of evil, and they are the children of Edom. I would have said Satan, but that's the spirit that made me say that. The children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. All right. Who were what? When was the day of Jerusalem? When was this? All right. When was this? When did this happen? Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. All right. So when did that happen? This is Psalms 50. No, Obadiah. Better scripture. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. All right. So this is Esau. This is talking to the Most High through the prophet Obadiah, which actually means servant. Servant of Yahweh. Okay. Yah being short for Yahweh. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Okay, excuse me. And thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. All right? Who was as one of them? Esau. And when was this? During the Babylonian captivity. They cut off any of us that tried to escape, as it's going to read on to say. But thou shouldest not have looked on that day, on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoice in the children of Judah, in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou should have not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in a crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of his distress. Alright? So basically they shouldn't have engaged not even engaged. They shouldn't have participated in the things that were happening to us during the time of the Babylonian captivity. Alright? So now, going back to the point, Psalms 137 and 7. Which reads, Remember, O Lord Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So they were goading on the Babylonians to basically destroy the land of Israel, man. Alright? Whoops. Further proof, man. This is first Esdras 4 and 45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees. So that shows you that was the participation of who? Of Esau in our fall during the Babylonian captivity. So you can have some context, some understanding. That's when they were saying, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. They got so riled up that the fact that the Chaldeans, who are the Babylonians, had basically, come in and taken us over, that they jumped in, they jumped in off the back of that and basically got active as well, and they burnt down the temple, man. So that's why the Lord said this. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And how did they raise it to the foundation of it? Because they went up and they basically participate. All right, O daughter of Babylon. Now gives you understanding, because this is now the judgment for doing those said things. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. And ultimately burn down the temple, which the temple now represents the nation of Israel. Okay. It tells you that the temple is within you, and us all together build the nation of Israel. So them being rewarded what they did unto us is them being destroyed, basically. Okay. And it's going to be done by what? ICBMs. All right. So this is Jeremiah 50:25. All right. The Lord have opened his armory, Yahweh have opened his armory, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. All right. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. All right. And this is talking about in this modern day, because he's open, and we're going to read on. All right. So it says, verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon. All right. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none therefore escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall a young man fall in the streets, and the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most high, most proud, saith the Lord, power of hosts. For that day is come, the time that I will visit thee. All right. A sword is upon the Chaldeans. All right. So how this is telling you how the Lord's gonna visit the archers or who or what, the ICBMs, the arrows coming out of the silos and landing upon the people. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Oh, Lord. Yo. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. All right? So that's talking about the melting pot we mentioned before. And they shall become as women. All right, where else does it say that? Isaiah the 13th chapter. All right, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. All right, all the wealth that is going to be destroyed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. How? By the ICBMs. All that fire is going to make the water evaporate, and it tells you it's going to become a desert wilderness, as I will read. For it is the land of graven images, all right? And they are made upon their idols. And mad upon their idols. Like Kobe Bryant died, you got niggas saying that was my idol. You're crazy, man. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert, all right, with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owls shall be dwell therein. So these are all wild desert beasts, because it's going to turn into a desert. And it shall be no more inhabited forever. Now, Babylon in the time of old, was it inhabited afterwards? Yes, it was, because it became a province under the Medo-Persian Empire. But this Babylon is going to be destroyed by a fire not blown. All right, that's the sword that is upon her, and that is the weapon that's going to come out of the armory of the Most High. Okay, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, as the Most High. This is the underlying factor that gives you great understanding. As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there. All right? So it's going to be a Sodom and Gomorrah. All right? Now this is... Second Peter 2:6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, all right, because fire was made to rain down from heaven. Fire and brimstone rain down from heaven. And that's the same way America's going to be destroyed. Making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So that was an example of how, if you live ungodly, these are going to be the consequences, all right? And what is America known as today? Spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, all right? Because the word Sodom is also a practice in this kingdom known as sodomy, basically homosexuality, all right? Which is an example of the same thing that was in Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's why it was destroyed. So this is the same reason why America and this earth as we know it, the rulership needs to be destroyed. Not the earth, but the rulership needs to be destroyed to instate the righteous rulership of Yahweh B'Hashem El-Shai B'Hashem HaRakah Kadosh. All right? And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. All right? And he was delivered out of all that by the angels. All right? For that righteous man dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. All right, so that's what it did. All right, so the Most High, that's how he moves. So America is Babylon the Great, and it's going to be destroyed by fire. That's the mystery Babylon that it speaks of in Revelation 17:5. So it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great.